What's good, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the BearCast. BearCast is going to be me and some homies I met here at college, talking about college things and, honestly, whatever else comes up. So, thanks for listening. We are live. All right, everybody. Welcome to BearCast.
Is that what we're going to go with right now?
Yeah,
BearCast.
It's definitely going with the BearCast.
Episode 1.
Welcome to the BearCast podcast. On the BearCast podcast, we will talk about campus life and wherever we go from there.
Yeah, so we're three homies, all from the same hall, same residence hall.
Dunny squad?
Here at UM, Dunaway squad. But we're just gonna get it rolling, get it cracking. Sam, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Sam?
no introductions.
I'm Sam Yoxheimer. I'm from Colorado. I love to have a good time. Aiden?
My name's Aiden Kirby. I'm from Vancouver, Washington, Wazoo State, and I also like to have a good time.
What can I
Nice.
say?
What can I say?
Stetson, like the hat, Spang, from Colstrip, Montucky. I too like to party. We might have some other homies on here as well, but we're gonna kick it off and have our first live guest. What's your mom's name?
Lindsay.
Lindsay Yox.
So let's mention that the time right now is about 1:20 at night because that's just college kid hours, and we have been waiting to make this, and we're doing it.
We've been doing homework all day. It's just this is the only free time we've had.
So we figured we'd kick the cast off with a call to my mom. I bet she'll answer. Let's see. If not, we'll just move forward.
Put on speaker.
She's up.
Hello.
Mom?
Yeah?
Hey, what's up?
Nothing.
What are you doing?
I've been working.
What are you working on?
Just going through my emails.
Nice. You are live right now on the BearCast podcast.
It's actually not live, but
It's actually not live, so if you say anything really bad, we can edit it out. But we started the podcast, and we figured we'd kick it off with a call, and I figured you'd probably answer.
Yeah, I'm wide awake. It's not crazy enough, so.
What'd you do today?
I went and had a meeting, and then I went to court, and then went to another meeting,
Nice.
and that's about it, yeah.
All
I'm at
right.
the dentist at 8 in the morning
You
tomorrow.
have always at the dentist, man.
I know, I'm getting a night guard.
At the dentist here, it's only like $39 to get your teeth. Maybe not even $29 to get your teeth cleaned or something.
I swear it's 25, bro.
Oh, not much money to get
It's free.
Anyways, I guess we'll ask you a question. How are you feeling about being half empty nested so far?
Well, we just had Labor Day. I know is not like a big holiday, but it's still typically a time where families get together, and so that was yesterday, and we typically would have meals Sunday nights. If we were ever going to be able to get all four of us together for a meal, it was either Sunday or Monday, and so yesterday was Monday. So yeah, it's been challenging, just in that I miss you. Even if it was just in passing, just knowing that I knew where you were most of the time, or at least when you were sleeping in your bed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I miss you a lot.
Miss you too, Mama.
Well, Malia's really liking your room, and we redid it this weekend. We didn't really do anything this weekend, but we did do some projects. So we just got
nice.
a newly paneled wall, and we painted it.
Dang.
Got our bedspread, so it looks good.
It's all chopped up. She's just on my bed frame and everything.
Oh yeah, she's loving it.
Nice. All right.
How are you feeling about being so far away from home? I mean, not how college, but just being far from home and your family.
It's been kind of strange. I kind of like just want to. I don't. It's not even that weird. I don't know. It's just like. Yeah, that's a tough question. I haven't even. It's we just go. There's been so much. I've been going so hard, just so much to do all the time.
Yeah, it's
Like
true.
I've just been on the move, and like I haven't even really spent that much time in my room,
Yeah.
and I kind of feel like I get nervous, and then I just like take off and go and like leave and drive somewhere or go do something. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's probably like a stress thing that I'm like retreating, but also like I'm enjoying what's going down around here for sure. There's a lot of fun stuff, and like school isn't that bad. It's pretty straight up. It's not different than high school.
Well, that's good. I mean, one of the things that Dad said that I hadn't really, thought about, but I mean, there's lots of things to worry about as a parent, especially as your kid goes off to college, and because you're so far away, it's not like we can just like hop in a car and drive to you. But like his biggest fear was that you would be, in your room, like depressed or sad and lonely and not be engaging. And so the
Yeah.
fact that you are doing that
Going hard.
is just a relief for us to know that you've made some friends and you aren't just, holding up in your room and not taking advantage of your life.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of yeah. I feel like whenever I first showed up, it was like I was trying super hard to do that because that's what everyone says, and I kind of like I was kind of like in shock phase. Like I thought everyone was super like interesting or super good looking. Like it was like so much newness that I wasn't even. I was just like going for everything, but now it's kind of like calmed down, and it's like I've kind of found some people that I like to be with, and like I kind of figured out what's going on around here, So it's like it's been more comfortable, but
Yeah. And being comfortable with that, but so then you allowed yourself to like be comfortable just with you because you know that you're not having to be alone, you're choosing to be alone, and there's a big difference.
yeah, for sure. Well, definitely, I never have to be alone, which is actually kind of rad. We were talking about that today, like it's like we never have to be alone if we don't want to. Like we can just walk a second away, and the boys are right there.
Is your dorm hall all individual rooms, or just some of them
Yeah.
have roommates?
Yeah, our floor is all like individual ones. There's like other like floors with people, but our whole floor is just singles.
So do people have their doors open all the time so you can like go in and see who's around?
Kind of, but it's kind of felt like me and my friends are kind of those people, and we're very inviting.
We're
But
the only ones on the floor, it turns out.
yeah, there's some no, there's some people that like don't really come out. I
They
feel
have
like.
single for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, Mama, my phone's about to die,
Me
and
too.
you've been a pleasure on the podcast.
Thanks for being our first guest.
Yeah, first special guest.
Thanks. And if you ever need advice, guys, you can always call me, even
Oh,
if it's
yeah.
1 a.m, because
That's a
I probably
segment.
work.
I was literally just gonna say we can bring you in for some expert advice segments on some things for sure.
Yeah, I you know my niche, and so I can definitely help with, give some advice. And I am a super mom, so
Rad.
have that as well.
All right, Mama. Love you.
Love you, babe.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Yeah, that touched my heart.
It
That-
touched my heart
That
too,
touched
dude.
my heart a little bit.
All right.
That was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
How well that worked.
Good convo. So obviously, as you guys can see, this is pretty free flow, not too formal. Keep it chill. Your mom was sort of talking about, or well, you said it's just like high school. Would you elaborate on that? I was thinking about like expectations and versus reality of what college would be.
Yeah,
Because growing up, you always have like people telling you about what college.
What college is.
Yeah.
Oh man, like
sometimes it just like when I'm in class. I'm in class and I'm around a whole bunch of kids who are like, maybe this is me being arrogant, but like a whole bunch of kids I feel like don't know what's going on, like kind of disengaged, and maybe it's just because I'm like young and it's like we'll weed out these people and people will find the things that they're actually interested in. Yeah. But it's just like nobody knows what's going on. We're sitting in these kind of bum classes like that we don't feel like really matter to me right now. There's a couple classes, like I have a cool geology class, and like my math class is pretty good, I guess, but it's just not a lot of. I'm not at a place right now where I'm like super interested in the stuff that I'm studying. Like I haven't. Yeah, like I think my business class will kind of work. It's only week 1.
Yeah.
So like, I think like there will be a lot of stuff that I'll learn to love more. But
do you think there are like some people who show up though, and it's like with high school, it's sort of the law. I mean, you can drop out when you're like 16 or 18, depending on the state. But you know, when you're a kid, it's like you just have to go to school. Whereas college, you don't have to. But I feel like it's kind of the norm, and just like everybody goes. Yeah, and I think that's being challenged more like in recent years. But I do feel like some kids are just like, you know, that's the thing to do. So yeah.
Well, in all honesty, that's kind of how I was too. Like, I was like, I had some things that I wanted to do, and I had some dreams that I probably could have just went out and pursued, and I could have just like tried to do whatever I want. But college seemed like a place that was at least safe of judgment. Like if I go here, at least my family won't think I'm a bum yet. You know, and it's like I have a place to stay, and I got food. I might be in massive amounts of debt after this, but like right now it works out. That's rough, man. Hopefully my professors don't judge too hard if they hear that.
Yeah. What you think, bro?
Well, I mean, honestly, I never thought I was gonna make it to college. I always just figured I'd graduate high school and then that would be it for schooling. But my parents really pushed me.
Job.
Yeah. My parents pushed me to make me go, honestly. Like, if they wouldn't have been there, I would not be here. But being here now makes me happy that I'm actually, like, doing it.
What do you
because
know?
there's some pre-PT.
Oh, nice.
Exercise science. Yeah. But, I mean, like, it's not even the fact that I'm like learning about stuff that I love. Like my anatomy class is the most interesting class I've ever been in, but it's also just like the experiences. I didn't know it was gonna happen this fast. Like I just made friends that like are the boys.
Yeah.
And I'm doing stuff every day that's like gonna live with me forever. And it's an amazing opportunity, and I'm happy that I didn't miss out on it. And I mean, it's just week 1, but it really is kind of life-changing a bit.
Yeah, it's been pretty intensely
stimulating. Intense.
I was watching. Do you guys watch H3 at all?
I love H3.
So I was watching one of their. It was like a little highlight, and it was like, is college worth it anymore? Because they're like sort of a. You know, we were talking about people who just, like, college is just the thing to do, and people come here and get in debt, and, like, it's like they don't really know what they want to do. Which, I mean, I think it's legit, and I definitely considered not coming to college and just working and pursuing my dreams in, like, a less formal way. But honestly, and they sort of talked about it on H3, like, the experiences that you have, like, even if you end up in a field that doesn't really pertain to the what you majored in, like some pretty crazy experiences. Like this stuff isn't happening in old Colstrip, Montucky.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
And we're like, the one thing that's kind of been hitting me recently is like we're doing something that probably maybe 1% of the entire world will ever get to do. Like experience an actual like boarded university where you go to school every day and you live on campus and you like get a formal university education, and like people, they like people want that. They come here for it, and here we are doing it like for real. It's kind of crazy.
For sure.
But
it's like honestly something I didn't like think was gonna happen, and then it happened, and like I'm loving it now.
Yeah, the date approached a lot. The date came a lot quicker than it seemed on the calendar. It was like 1 week or like 2 weeks, 1 week, and it's like we're going to school.
Like you're packing your room up.
Yeah,
and that's hard. I did
it in like 3 days.
Yeah,
I packed
I procrastinated.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, maybe I'm not gonna go. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna keep my stuff here. I want to be with my dogs and my mama. But
I was thinking about driving away.
Yeah.
And just living in the van forever. Just never coming back.
Well, we talk about that a bit more, like leaving home and like saying bye to the boys back home, because I organized a little bonfire for like the seniors that were, or the freshmen, I guess, that were leaving, and whoever else wanted to come. And for the boys who are listening to this, shout out. But it was at this lake, and one of the homies, Travi, called, or I think he was talking to his mom, and his mom was like, I don't know if you guys can do that or like have a fire at the lake. So she called up the police department, and they're like, nah, you can't have a fire at the lake. So we were
because of a fire ban or
something like that. I don't know. But what you can do is have barbecues and those like little barbecue things.
Okay.
So we just put a bunch of wood on the barbecue thing and had a fire on there. It was
that bitch up?
It was a very great time. Very it got nostalgic for sure.
Did anybody come and check your pit and be like, hey, you can't just build a fire on top of the charcoal pit?
No, thing is, my mom worked for the
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Okay.
So she had to clean it in the morning. So I made sure things were dealt with before I
Nice.
left. Yeah.
Yeah, it all covered.
Anyway, what about you guys leaving friends?
When I left my friends, it was like how you see it in the movies. Like they're standing in a line as I'm getting into my car, and I just get in and just.
Did you like
wave to
invite them over for breakfast?
I had boys over the night before, and I did not go to sleep. Like I couldn't fall asleep. I wanted to be with the boys, and the night turned into day, and we were gonna leave at 9 a.m. and I just didn't want to do anything, and it took me like 4 hours to like past 9 a.m. to actually get into the car.
Jeez, bro.
But like I stood there with like 4 of my homies, and they were just lined up, and like none of us cried. We all just said goodbye. But then I got into the car and we're driving, and I just start crying.
Jeez.
And I text my homies, and they're like, no, it didn't hit me as you left, it hit me after. And they told me the same thing, that they just were a little heartbroken about it.
Gang.
Did you gang for life?
Gang for life.
Did they all go to school?
Well, so both of the two, like my two closest friends, because I also had my friend like John over. He went to Boise, but like he wasn't there in the morning when I left. But like the dudes that were there, 2 of them were staying in town going to school in Vancouver, and then my other friend is going to school in OSU. But he doesn't leave until like the end of September, so he's still home right now, hanging out with those dudes. But it was just like, it didn't hit any of us until after it had happened, and it was weird.
Yeah, like we all left the fire, and then like we were like just posting pics like on Snapchat from the night. It was like sad boy hours.
Yeah, no, like it was just like, it's like, okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow or something. But then it turns out I'm in a different state, 8 hours away from them. But I mean, what helps a whole lot is just talking to them every day.
Yeah.
I make it like and go out of my way to call my Bobby and my mom and my dad like every day, and that just, it helps a whole lot more with feeling like, because I mean, the biggest thing I was worried about was not being there for them if they needed me. And I would always think about, like, what if they're not thinking about me as much as I'm thinking about them? Stuff like that. Like, what if they forget about me? I don't know. I mean, obviously they're not going to do that, but that's just the thoughts that were made in my head. And just talking to them every day and, like, realizing how much of a difference is that, like, I'm not there and they're not here for me. It just makes it seem like not as bad.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, making some homies at college, like, day one, it helps a lot.
I feel like that what we've experienced, like, I don't know, is that normal, like, for people to make friends so fast?
It's gotta be, right? Because we're all just so alone, and we're just like, what else are we supposed to do?
Well, for me, like, I didn't have that, what you guys had.
Yeah. So did you go straight from van life to here?
Pretty much. So the people.
So describe van life just real briefly.
Yeah, just for the audience.
Being on the road, man. You take off always. Like, you can have a home base. Like, we had people with, like, home base, but, like, we just traveled around. We'd camp pretty much every night.
Yeah. Everyone had a van.
Yeah.
Van squad.
But was it the same people? Like, continuously?
I ended up with a core group, but people came and went pretty. Like, every time you met back up with the crew, it was like at least 2 people had left, and at least one person you never met was there. But, like, it was so cool because, like, they all had the thing in common that, like, because everyone was very different, like, lots of different political views or
that's dope.
backgrounds, but everyone had this thing in common that they just loved the road, and I found that, like, very admirable, because just my friends in high school just were not. They weren't very good friends, man. And totally to show exactly that, as soon as I got here, like, I was having, like, some friends, like, totally turn their back on me, and, like, the only friends that I thought I had from high school, like, they kind of just turned their back on me, but I kind of had that, and because I had that in high school, ever since that, I've been, like, intensely seeking, like, close relationships, and, like.
So when you left for van life, that happened?
Yeah,
you were seeking for those relationships.
Oh, yeah, well.
Yeah.
I was realizing how toxic my friendships in high school were becoming for me. Like, they were bringing me down, and none of them were. I love them, but where they were right then was not moving towards a place of the life that I know that they wanted, and they weren't making it. Like, 'cause, like, what I'm trying to always do is just move towards a closer to a life that I want to live, you know? And, like, I just don't feel like they were making moves to try to make that happen. You don't want to surround yourself with those kind of people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course not.
So, yeah. And then, whenever I found my buddies on the road, like, I made some very intensely, like, passionate relationships with people that, like, just didn't last very long, and whatever.
How rude.
But, is that crazy? Sorry. You should cut all that out, because we probably shouldn't use too many names either.
Oh, we can.
You know what I'm saying?
We can. Yeah, it's whatever. So then leaving van life to coming here, how was that?
Pretty.
I'm pouring water. Just don't worry about it.
Bro, are you literally just gonna take a pee right here in front of the
right in front of the mic?
Yeah, I bet that's a thing on the dark web, like ASMR peeing.
ASMR peeing.
Listen, as a young man takes delicate urine into bottles. Yeah, and then I get here. I was going from just partying pretty consistently. Partying, hiking, camping, climbing, whitewater rafting, caving, just trying to push the limits.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. That's all we wanted to do was just get out there. Like, life was about getting wild and
Sending it.
sending it, man. I was sending it so much, dude. I was never home, dude. I would just leave. And go and send it with the gang, man. With the gang. And I found some great people through that. People who were like passionately pursuing the things that they loved in life. And that's what I love. And I come in here, it's like, honestly, I at first I was nervous because I was like, oh shit, like, I'm not gonna have anything to do. I'm not gonna be able to get lit. I'm not gonna be able to go out. And like, it kind of was like that at first, but I'm finding there's plenty of wilderness around here.
Mm-hmm.
Like 30 minutes, 20 minutes from here, I can be in the mountains, in the woods, like going in, getting wild, and it hasn't been nearly as bad. And like before, always seeking, like, no homo, bro. Always seeking those passionate relationships.
Yeah,
like,
no.
especially with men, like, because you don't get enough of it with men.
For real,
You
dude.
know? And dudes need dudes to be dudes, you know?
For real,
It's
dude.
true.
I shared a video of a guy named Joseph Solomon. He wrote a poem about it. But anyways, it's about like masculine intimacy.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
dude,
and
it's
going to
beautiful.
and like a lot of what people say is if they travel to like the Middle East or just any Eastern countries, like you definitely see it, like dudes just holding hands or like, I don't know, just being super affectionate towards each other. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes you see it like in like football locker rooms where dudes are just like super open about like having their wieners out or whatever.
Yeah, no.
Like, but yeah, it definitely, man.
I mean,
Getting close to the boy.
I'm not trying to kiss any dudes personally, but like in some cultures, like dudes
Yeah.
kiss dudes on the mouth, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like they kiss other dudes.
I've cheek kissed. Well, actually, no. It's like you press cheeks and then you don't actually kiss their cheeks, or at least I did.
That almost feels more gay to me than just kissing him on the cheek. If you just kiss him on the cheek, it's brotherly love. But now you're doing all kinds of European stuff, dude. Trying to set yourself apart in culture.
Oh,
Just kidding, bro. I'm giving you crap.
No, it's not good.
Well, I mean,
greet the brethren with a holy kiss,
exactly.
straight out of scripture,
Straight out of scripture.
It's just
on the mouth.
Oh no. Okay, like the way I look at it, like getting intimate with dudes doesn't have to mean a physical intimacy. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever just been like, because I mean, like I play a lot of video games. So it's like 8-hour sessions of me
Yeah,
talking
I've never
to
experienced that.
like 2 other dudes for 8 hours in the
Yeah.
middle of the night playing Minecraft or something.
Meaningful conversations.
And those conversations go crazy. And it's just like, I wouldn't trade them for anything.
Yeah.
Those are like the moments that I love to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, and then also just being with another dude that you're just like, I don't give a fuck what I'm sorry, I didn't mean for the vulgar, but I don't give a dang
A darn.
what this dude thinks of me, because like he's my dog.
yeah.
Like, who cares if I'm trying to kiss him on the lips or something? No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
being comfortable with just being yourself is way more of a thing that happens when you're with another dude than it
Yeah.
is if you're with another girl.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna
for
say,
real.
like, whenever you have some kind of physical intimacy, like, no homo, but
No
like,
homo.
whenever you and the boys are like, whatever, like, you have gotten there, then like, whenever you need to have a really deep conversation, or whenever there is stuff that is tough and it's like, you need some male counsel, some male counsel on.
Male count.
Yeah,
Male
like,
counsel.
Yeah, like you gotta, whenever you need to talk with the boys, like, you know that you have that kind of connection with them to where you're gonna be able to to be open with them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And I bet it's the same way with females. Like, kind of, and probably not
I don't
actually.
feel like
I don't know.
girls don't neglect it, and I feel like dudes like actively neglect it though.
Neglect what? Into physical intimacy?
Not.
You just been hanging out with the wrong dudes.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, bro. Yeah, hanging out with the people on the road, they were always hugging and kissing each other, like almost uncomfortably much.
And you'd say like they're more down to like be open and like console each other.
Oh yeah, that was a very major theme around there because you needed it because you were alone so much. Like these people were alone all the time traveling.
Yeah.
So whenever you had these people, it needed to be like enriching conversation, and like you needed to get that filled upness so that next time you're alone, you have that. You know, it's there. You know.
So I had a friend. In YWAM, Youth of the Mission, and good guy, good bearded, full bearded guy. I showed you him.
Yeah,
He actually reminds me a lot
bro.
of Sam. Yeah. Shout out Nathaniel.
I'm trying to get to that beard level by Christmas. Just so
Okay,
you know.
but he was
trying to
saying
get that beard level like all the time, but it just doesn't grow that way, bro.
we were talking about physical intimacy betwixt men, and he had this sort of theory of like getting you can actually get physical needs or like your intimacy needs from guys, because we all have those needs. And
by needs, do you mean like sexual desires?
No,
Yeah, what
that's
are you
not
talking
what he was talking
about,
about.
Okay.
Just like love, just love, and
Sure,
in our
love.
culture where, like the poem by Joseph Solomon, he has a little bit where he's talking about like we always go for the bro shake, where it's like your arm is crossed your heart. It's like you do it so your hearts don't touch. Like, oh no, what if our chests touched and we felt each other's heartbeat? Like we're a bit distanced and like we're not cool with physical intimacy sometimes. But he's saying like, and I guess what I'm taking it is like, what if that deprivation maybe causes or contributes to guys who are like, I need to have a girlfriend, or guys who like get real caught up in like a pornography addiction. Like, I wonder if the lack of male intimacy contributes to that.
That's a good point. I never heard of that. Yeah, you could totally, because I feel like the need that you're talking about, because it totally did first sound like you're talking about like loving other dudes.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I got too.
I was like, Stetson, I'm all about it, but I'm not trying to do that. but I've always been one who's talked about. I've always tried to tell people that like you gotta. Well, not everyone, bro. It's known that you gotta have some physical attention. Like you gotta have.
Yeah,
like,
humans require attention.
Yeah,
Like, that's
like,
just a natural thing.
Yeah, and
we like to be wanted.
Yeah, and there is some like chemical things that happen whenever you hug someone and or with someone and stuff. Yeah. Good point, Stetson.
Right.
You guys ever heard the term bromance?
Bromance.
Yeah,
like you and Fritz the other night, dude.
Like me and Fritz the other night.
Dude, him and Fritz. It's because Fritz is the most like. He's like so animated and cartoony.
He really
I
is.
love
It's
it.
crazy. Yeah.
He's so lit.
It really is so
stoked,
cool how he
bro.
does it. Like it's not fake almost. It's not fake. It's
Nah,
like
he's just stoked.
it's like stoked. He's just stoked about everything.
We can get him on a podcast.
We'll get Fritz on the
Fritz
podcast.
he has a good podcast.
Yeah, no,
he does.
I feel like he could keep it going.
So people sometimes think I have a cool name, but dude, Fritz. That's
Fritz is
that's a
parents'
name.
name.
Spritzy Fritzy.
When he played football, he told me everybody called him Blitzy Fritzy or whatever because he was a linebacker. He blitzed all the time. Like that's so cool.
I
We're just
don't
gonna
know,
be
man.
talking
It
about
is
Fritz.
cool. Like I'm glad that I have a friend named Fritz now. But who's decided on that name? Is that his full name?
Fritzen maybe.
I think it's
Fritzabel.
That's his
Fritzabel.
first, that's his first name.
Fritzer.
Fitzgerald.
Oh, I bet it is that, dude.
Fritz.
Junior.
I don't know.
I don't know about you guys, but
Fritz Cracker?
if I have a son, I'm gonna name Aiden Kirby to be a junior.
Are you
You
serious?
guys would do that? Would you guys do that?
I've thought about.
Your name would be a good name.
Stetson's. I mean, yeah, Aiden's a bad name, but like.
I've
still,
also thought
I just
about
want a junior.
Preston. You know, like sometimes dudes like do like a name similar to like
Stetson and Preston.
yeah.
That's kind of that
No,
sounds
not
like a TV
Preston.
show.
Oh, it's Preston.
Oh, Preston. My bad. Preston.
Preston.
I almost said pretzels.
Peachers.
Stetson and Features.
That sounds like a TV show.
Okay, so we sort of brushed by this topic.
Let's hear it.
You were talking about the mountains here. We're also talking about male on male affection, which I mean,
Hey, you know they relate.
like, yeah, sort of indirectly, but kind of directly. The culture of Missoula. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Culture. Okay.
Dude.
And how just like orientation in the first week, like showing up on the spot. What's it like? What do you like about it?
Okay.
And maybe how it contrasts or compares to.
Should we go into like pros and cons too?
One thing.
If you want.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
One thing I noticed about Missoula that I was not expecting, and I feel like anybody who's listening out of state right now, hear this.
Hear me now.
You have this thought about what Montana is in your head. Maybe you played Far Cry.
Yeah,
Didn't
no.
take place in Montana. Yeah. So you think it's like this, like redneck, like blue collar place, but at least in Missoula, I can't speak for all of Montana, but this place is pretty like liberal and like.
It's not what a stereotypical Montana town you
it's
think would
not
be.
what you think Montana is.
And I think Missoula is like the outlier, the exception.
I think it is. It probably is.
And like you know, like there are towns in Montana that I would compare to the town.
Oh yeah,
in
you're from
Rango.
Montana,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
can kind
Yeah,
of.
if you guys seen Rango, it's like
Rango, the
just the dusty
chameleon.
town
Yeah, the chameleon.
with like there are towns in Montana like that obviously, and like there's some pretty good conservative vibes. But Missoula is definitely like the Cali of Montana.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like
not
the
saying that's
Portland of
I'm not
Montana,
saying
dude.
that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It is
but
what it is,
there,
and it's
It is-
crazy.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
like, dude, I was at this live music event at Karis Park. I don't know if you guys were there that day, but I'm just chilling here enjoying some beautiful live music. And then all of a sudden they're putting a banner up above the event on the bridge, and it says like, "We declare climate emergency." And then these chicks hung up ropes from the bridge and like hung themselves, like not literally, but hung a rope. around
Yeah,
it.
no, it's a
They-
message.
There was slack. Yeah,
They
there's slack on the road.
They stood there like for 2 hours, bro, just standing there with ropes around their neck.
That's something you would not expect from a Montana town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
no.
and it was really crazy. I've been in a crazy situation because the girl I've been hanging out with is very like Green New Deal. Like she's all about crazy like climate change,
Yeah.
nature, which like is cool and it challenges me, which I like.
Mhm.
But like here I am about to like laugh at this situation, like this is crazy, and I have to be like, she'll probably be pretty upset if I get super flustered, like, cause it was wild.
It's
There's-
ridiculous.
There's crazy stuff
Yeah.
that goes down here in Missoula for sure.
Yeah.
Bow staff guys, lots of
Good.
homeless people, which is interesting. Like,
I didn't expect that either. But I mean, I guess it is like a big town, and that's where homelessness thrives, is the big cities.
yeah,
But like,
not that it's bad. Like,
no, I mean it's just a thing that happened.
And like a little bit tangent, and then I want to return to what we were talking about. What is it, like 120,000 here?
120.
Something like
population,
that. Yeah.
120,000.
No,
have
it's,
clue.
I think it's.
I can
think
look it up. I got
yeah.
it. This is
Anyways,
what I'm here for.
That's what the laptop
So
says.
Missoula Billings is the biggest in Montana, and Missoula is the second biggest, I think. But it's big enough to where like there's all this opportunity and culture, and yet small enough to where you're not like completely lost, and you're not just a number.
Yeah.
Like in the whole thing, like because you can walk around campus and still recognize a lot of people and have that community.
Yeah. Campus vibe.
Yeah,
is super
it's
small
a
town.
very cool balance between like urban and like smaller town. I don't know.
Well, I feel like
It's definitely not a community college, and it's not like UCLA.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the university brings up the town in a big way, and the town brings up the university in a big way, because like I feel like the university being here and having a whole crap ton of college students encourages the town to hold events and to hold and
they target
it's
to
a
us,
youthful
kind of.
city.
Yeah, it's exactly.
and then the town, this beautiful town situated on an awesome river, attracts the college students that want to be in this type of environment. So it's like a self-perpetuating cycle. And then I think, at least in my business class, we've talked a lot about a lot of the people that go to school here all 4 years will end up like wanting to contribute back into the Missoula community, because it's a community that could go down because it's small and it's out here, but like people see it as something that's worth building up because of the university, because of the town. Like they both help each other, you know?
Yeah. It is sort of like separate, you know?
It's
like you going downtown, it's, you know, but like there is that, it's a close relationship for sure.
And I think that's like that in a lot of college towns. Like I grew up in Greeley, Colorado, which was like a college town similar to this, like smaller college but still a big university. And the town was like on its own. It was Greeley. It smelled like actual cow crap, like lots of gang activity, but like university life was totally different. Like if you're on a university, you're doing university life, and that's like its own thing, you know. So Are you guys on the main Wi-Fi yet? Or are you on?
Oh, I'm on Ethereum.
You're still struggling.
Dude, every single time I get on my computer, I have to log on to Grizzly Guest.
So me, it should be like I think the username is like sam.yaksamir at montana.edu, and then your password is like mine is ss15 blah 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 blah.
You say that, bro, but Isabel told me that was wrong today.
Dude, straight up take it to like the advising center.
I will. I could probably take it to
They
the RA.
have IT here.
Any adult. Any adult. Anyways,
honestly, any person who's been here more than a year, like the RA.
Go ask Noah.
Yeah. No, so I have some homies, some friends, some communities that like sort of warned me a bit of like a lot of the people that I've been around, you know, fairly conservative and Christian. So I've sort of been warned, like, you know, like be careful, sort of, you know, because they see the whole this is like a liberal place for the most part, like a liberal campus. I was sort of eager for it though, not to necessarily change, but to like I love new perspectives and different perspectives and not being so convinced. And I kind of just like some of the weird stuff. I mean, I think that can get like for me, I think I got on a slippery slope of that desire to not be so stuck and like convinced, and then sort of like spiraled into this whole doubt thing with like my faith. But no, generally, I kind of like the abstract and the difference that that's here than like home.
For sure.
You want to know the weirdest thing for me is that every school I've been to has never had like more than 300 kids at it. So
that's way different.
So like pulling up to my chemistry class, I got like 200 kids in that one class, and that's so weird to just be surrounded by. I know 2 people in that entire class.
Yeah,
and that's
honestly
it.
though.
But it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah,
way.
I was gonna say, like, it looks like the movies when you see like college courses in movies. Some of them are a bit smaller, but like my psych class, you walk in there and like it's loaded.
Is it at the Uri Hall?
My Uri Hall's loaded.
Gallagher
The
business.
business building in the lecture hall though, the big one. Yeah, lecture halls are crazy when there's like so many kids, and the teacher like teacher don't give a damn about you. Like,
No.
teacher teaching class and you just
She's
sit there
doing her
listen.
job and that's it. Yeah.
You better get them notes, boy.
I was going hard today. Like, I've been in a couple like actual lectures so far because just professors getting past the introductory stuff. So today in my psych class, he was actually going for it, and dude, I don't really know how to take notes. Like in Christian circles, for me, like sermons, like I usually just jot stuff down and go for it, or like when I'm like writing music, like just like scribble, and that's what I was doing. So I was like scribbling everything. So I need to figure that out. Yeah.
I'll give you some help steps.
Yeah, dude. All you gotta do, you gotta write whatever he's about to talk about, write an underline, and then dot, 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 little points. And then if you can tell when he's switching over to some new topic, because he's reading out of notes too.
Okay.
And what I try to do is I try to make my notes look as much like what the teacher's notes that he's reading off of probably look like.
Okay.
That's helped me.
Alright. But no, yeah, like going in there and not seeing anybody, I was thinking like, you have your groups of friends and people around, and you like see them at lunch and stuff, kind of. But walking into some of these lectures, it's like I can't see a single face that I know. I don't know.
Well, what we see too, I was thinking about this today. Whenever we're out and about, and like especially in like a lecture hall, you might have like who we see at the food zoo and around the dorms. There's all freshmen, pretty much.
Okay,
like,
that makes sense.
Like
all
freshmen eat at the food zoo. Like that's what if you ask any sophomore, they're like, oh yeah, all freshmen eat at the food zoo. But like
That makes
most
sense.
sophomores don't eat at the food zoo. So like that's a big part of it. Is like the zoo life, baby. How do you guys feel about the zoo? Should we move on to the zoo?
Yeah. So the cafeteria here is called the food zoo. Zoo Missoula.
It's a play on words.
Yeah. By the way, BearCast, our mascot. It's like
Grizzly bear.
University of Montana Grizzlies. So Bear podcast, BearCast. Anyways, food zoo. Take it away.
Okay, like I got here first week, I was in love. I was thinking, how did I get so lucky to be in such a beautiful campus and have such great food? And I'm like living it up, eating as much as I can. Week 2 rolls around. I'm not pooping as much, like I'm not having my daily poops. I'm like, what's going on here? Maybe I'm nervous about college. I don't know. Keep eating the food zoo.
Keep going back. Keep on eating.
You got no choice. You got no choice. But today's been a bad day. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I've been in the toilet. I've been in the bathroom for a good portion of my day.
And you don't know what it was.
And I don't know what happened. I don't know what I did. But
dude, there's some.
Well, you said the second week you stopped pooping so much.
yeah.
So maybe you loaded yourself.
Loaded it up a little bit.
No.
But I definitely think that the culprit behind all of it is the food zoo.
Dude, there's some kind of magical sauce that they put in everything.
It's MSG, bro.
Dude, they're putting MSG in the cantaloupe as well as the chicken parm. And we are eating that shit up every day. 3 times a day, bro. Dude, it is a known fact. You ask people around this campus and they will tell you that you start eating at the food zoo consistently and you will start going to the bathroom at least 20% more than you did back home. At least. That's on the low end of the bell curve.
My butthole gets pretty raw sometimes.
No, like
Not
I'm
gonna
bleeding
lie.
trying to wipe. It's like wiping a marker.
Andy Dwyer.
Yeah, there's Andy Dwyer.
It's like wiping a marker. Yeah, pretty gnarly.
Dude,
but no doubt,
like
the food is delicious.
Yeah, right. Just rub it in.
No doubt though, I love it.
Yeah. I'm suspecting that I might like gain weight because like
It's not like the food.
there's so many options.
and it's not like it tastes bad.
Yeah.
Like I eat it, and it's
No.
like not bad.
The issue is there's always options. If there was only mainline every day, and you could only have a salad and whatever main course they had, that'd be one thing. It's the fact that you can also get a bowl of cereal
And a cheeseburger.
and a cheeseburger.
And sometimes you do all of it.
and
at
have
once.
3 Huckleberry ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all in the same Sitting.
Exactly.
Sheesh.
So who's trying to go hit the food zoo right now?
Bro, I'm down for some ice cream.
Not right now. So if we're not eating at the food zoo, we're probably maybe eating at Pie Hole.
Pie Hole's pretty good.
Because
Yeah.
Pie
3
Hole-
a.m. It opens
Yeah.
until 3 a.m.
Pie Hole's doing it right, and they understand that sometimes things happen. You're doing stuff. You're out. It's 3 a.m. You're still up, and you need food right
You need
now.
it. Yeah.
And Pie Hole delivers. The pizza, mediocre. It's not even that good.
But the environment.
Good the environment, bro. No matter how happy you are, or sad you are, or messed up on drugs you are, they will serve you pizza, and the ranch is free.
The ranch is free, baby. That's what matters.
I saw a meme, and it's like
I
it's
saw
like
it.
Little
I saw it.
Caesars, and it's like, we're hot and ready. And it's like, okay, but is it good? And it's like, it's hot and it's ready.
Exactly. What more do you want?
Dude, I saw a meme, and the caption was, "I'm not gonna get too messed up tonight," and then it was me at Pie Hole at 3 a.m. and it was like a UFC wrestler, like he was like looking up. It was so freaking funny, man.
That's a great one.
Shout out U of Meme Tana. Anybody who's listening to this podcast and it doesn't follow U of Meme Tana and goes to the University of Montana, follow it because it's a hilarious Instagram account.
Alright.
There's also an Instagram account for Bananas of Montana.
Bananas of Montana.
Yeah, and they just take pictures of people with bananas around campus.
I'm definitely gonna follow it right now.
That's good. I hope I can I guess start eating bananas and maybe I'll make an appearance.
Dude.
Get some followers.
Dude, Sober October. Whether or not you use anything or drink a lot or whatever, Sober October is going to be an opportunity for us to make a health challenge.
Let's
and
go.
maybe part of it should be food zoo cleanliness for a month.
Look up bananas.
Like not
Because
not-
they have vegan options.
Yeah, we do.
vegan's a big step.
Okay.
I'll eat salads, but
Talk about this thing we talk about fraternity recruitment.
brush weed.
Have you guys been hit up a lot?
I've been hit up
Bro,
quite a
me
lot.
and Aiden are obviously the most rad frat boy people on this floor, so they pretty much just live with us. They're like, you don't even have to rush, bro. You can just be in our frat.
Old Thor was in here playing Smash Bros. He's just like, yeah, no, just it's
Dude,
alright.
we had a dude named Thor from old Kappa Sig in
Old
our
Kappa
dorm
Sig?
room.
Like a senior.
So what's up? Nah, for real though. I don't think I'm gonna join a frat at University of Montana.
I don't.
either.
I've never had that like
I've never
desire.
had the desire.
No, I've never
And
had
like,
it.
as of like a year ago, I didn't even know what it was or like the understanding. Friend told me about his experience and like he left and then kind of got ghosted and like I don't know. It just seemed weird. A hint culty.
It is a bit.
But
Just a tad.
but I mean that's a
Look at
single
that.
story. So I'm not gonna say that it's culty.
It's
But-
a little culty.
Yeah, no, we can. Yeah,
Nah,
But-
these dudes came in here and they're telling us about like these 50-year-olds joining the frat.
I
And,
don't
like,
know.
yeah, like people, the frat goes beyond the walls of the fraternity house. We found out, like
Wait, what?
the frat.
yeah. No, people live not in the house and stuff, and they'll like it's all over.
Yeah, it's like all over town. Like
Okay.
Sigma, 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 Sig.
So it's like different age groups of frat members. Like you join one, graduate college, and then it's just like always a Kappa Sig.
Kappa
always
Sig, baby,
live
dude.
Kappa Sig.
It's like
I
wearing
get
your-
that, but like, kind of 40-year-old who's like working at Ace Hardware just be like-
Join?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's more than, but it is like, the focus is universities, right?
The focus is usually a philanthropy. Like I think that this 50-year-old who's joining this crew, he was like a retired vet, and this fraternity was all about
Oh yeah, their whole thing is
helping
like
out.
they have charities and stuff for
Yeah, they donate to
vets
charities
who
that
come
help
back
vets.
from being like overseas and stuff, and it's hard for them to get situated when they get back here because they've been in like a totally different place doing totally non-civilian things.
Yeah.
And they're like one of their big things in what was it, Sigma P or whatever? their big thing is
Dude.
helping out.
Those
That's-
names just make me laugh.
They do.
But
They all
yeah,
sound the same.
the old war vet wanted to join the frat because of that, and they like let him join the frat. Obviously,
That's kind of cool.
yeah. So like a lot of times the ideas are great, philanthropy's great, and I bet at U of Montana it's better than it is at other schools because at other schools there's like 50 of them,
Yeah,
and like
it's
20 of them are just for getting lit.
Exactly.
Which also sounds kind of fun. Like I'm kind of excited to go meet the boys back at home because like Colorado, it's like FOCO. CSU is known for parties more than it's known for its college. Like they go hard.
Yeah, that's how it is at WSU.
Yeah, I'm sure it goes hard in Portland
Pullman,
too.
bro.
Yeah. Rave scene for all my rave homies, not popping in Montana. If you guys are into going to EDM shows, but
Gosh, I have this picture of you, Sam, with a banana. That's in my memories.
really, you should totally DM it.
You
to
gotta
him.
DM it. Yeah, no, exactly.
Also, the population of Missoula, 72,000. It's
Damn.
72.
And
Really?
I'm one of
Only
those-
72?
Yeah, I think they did it last in 2017.
The last
Okay.
census.
But I feel
The
like
last census
feel like-
definitely wasn't 2017.
censuses are only 10 years, aren't they?
2020, dude, it's going down.
Are you gonna participate?
I mean, is it just
Isn't it
like
required?
sign,
No.
like sign
Really?
here to show that you exist? Or
Yeah.
Pretty much.
like if I have to like write an essay, I don't know.
But like participation in the census has been at a historic low the last like 2 times.
Okay.
That was totally unfact checked, by the way.
I don't even hear what you said, honestly. I need to get off this banana page. Okay.
Are you looking at all the UN bananas?
Yeah.
Which banana was best?
I just uploaded yours, the picture of.
That picture you sent me today up on the mountain?
Yeah.
Did you take that of me?
Isabel. I took the picture just of you, and then Isabel took the picture of us, of both of us. But that
I
picture
don't
of
think
you,
I got that one. All I got was a picture of me looking like a buffoon.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, we hiked the M.
Oh yeah,
That
M
was
hiking.
that.
Yeah.
There's a mine up here, I guess. Like they tried to explode a mine into the ground or something. They were gonna mine
They had a plan
copper.
to use it as a mine shaft, but then eventually things fell through or something like that. So now it's just like an abandoned, 60 feet of
I don't know. Either way,
Cave.
we were up in the boonies looking for it last night.
late.
Up at the M, you can just see the entire town.
So I think the
Pretty
M
good.
is at
Simple hike.
I think the M is 2,700-ish feet elevation wise, and then you get to the summit of Mount Sentinel.
2,700 feet.
I think it's 27 at the M, and then the actual you can look it
I
up.
don't think so.
You should look it up. But
Because
the
I think
summit actually is 5,700-ish is what I heard from Shatsky last night.
Yeah. Okay. Missoula's at 3,209 feet.
No, but I'm talking
is that
about
high or low?
It's way
It's
lower than
it's-
Colorado.
Yeah.
I was up at above 10,000 for a lot of the time. High.
Missoula's 3,000. You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so then how high up is the M?
M elevation. It is. It's 978.1 meters to the top of from.
So I'm pretty close.
How many meters
like-
in a
it's like-
kilometer? And how many kilometers in a mile? And it's like that
Oh, well,
much
a kilometer.
higher than 3,000 feet.
How many miles is?
A kilometer?
No, here, just look up.
How high is the mountain?
978.1 meters.
How many miles is 978.1 meters?
0.61 miles.
So it's
Okay, and then a mile is 5,280
so plus okay.
feet.
So it's 60% of Denver.
60% of a mile, which is
So
pretty
the
close to what
summit
I
the summit is a bit lower than Denver.
Really?
If Denver truly is the mile high city.
well, no, that was
Denver
up
truly
to
is,
that was
bro.
up to the M,
it's
right?
it's 0.4 miles lower. Yeah.
0.4 miles, I can't even run 0.4 miles. That's a long way.
I mean that is a good little.
No, I'm just kidding. Not for real.
That's a jog. Not really. I mean.
I would die.
Dude, I need to run.
I was running a bit when I would go lift and then run the track, but it's been a good minute.
Oh man.
But dude, we hiked the M.
I'm more into that kind of stuff.
We swat our nips off.
I would
Dude,
die.
you swat your nips off.
No, I was like my shirt was. I had to take it off
Was it?
halfway up. You didn't walk up with me, dude. It was me and Fritz and this chick Kendra and this dude named Reese, and like they were just fine, and I was dead. Like it was bad. If I would have known what it was going into it, I probably would have stayed in my room. But I'm happy that I went into it blindly and just did it. But it was intense.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't like a real big, like if I did hikes at home, they were not uphill hikes. They were hikes through an area, walking around forests and stuff. But like, that M is uphill. It's an uphill battle.
Life's an uphill battle.
Life is.
College is an uphill battle
Okay.
that you can't win.
Segue. Biggest challenges of orientation week and first week. Go. Should we do biggest challenges or should we do like high and low? Because the low could be the challenge.
High and low.
High and
Doing
low.
high and low, so like our best moment and our worst moment.
Single
like
best
okay.
moment so far in college.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
No.
I can kick it off. High. I think getting, I don't know, it's either the good hangs and like friendships that have been going down, but also like there's a couple classes where it's like I actually am very hungry to learn, and I dropped out of high school because that was not what was happening. But no, to be back in a classroom setting and actually have something like that you were like
When
ready
did you
that
drop
you
out of
have
high school, bro?
end of semester 1 junior year.
So like,
Did you have to go
end
back?
of 2017.
and then you just had time where did you get your GED?
I got my GED,
And you
did
just
YWAM. So my senior year was missionary training, or like that thing was only like 5 months, but that was the alternative to senior year.
Was missionary training? And then why did you go become a missionary? Sorry, I don't mean to go off topic, but
No.
I don't know if you ever really even explained this.
I mean, YWAM is kind of the DTS is like introductory sort of, and then I mean they're pretty good at like getting people to want to like stay and continue with them, and like go on staff with them, which one of my friends actually did.
Why were you not interested in that? Why did you go to college instead?
I don't know. I don't think DTS is like you're gonna come here and you're gonna become a missionary for the rest of your life. But I think I've gotten a lot of connections and experience, and I think I will. Like I went again to Ethiopia, and like that was another mission thing. But I mean, it's a learning experience, you know. So even if you don't, okay, YWAM's motto is to know God and make Him known. So even if I'm not a cross-cultural missionary for the rest of my life, like I still learned things and developed those things. But I mean, I do love traveling, so we'll see what happens. Any Hoosier didn't like high school, and to be back in the classroom when there's some things that like I'm really about, it's cool.
High school was garbage.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some things like I'm not super psyched about all of my gen eds. Like I do have a math class. The teacher's kind of cool, so you know, there's hope. But and then low, I'd say stressing, bro. I'm trying to manage time because there's like so much fun and opportunity, and trying to like find those moments where you buckle down and like get your freaking stuff done. And yeah, just getting overwhelmed sometimes. It's been kind of cheeks, but it usually doesn't last very long. So.
Well, the highest moment I've had so far, my time in Missoula.
Last night when we drank that funky monkey.
That funky monkey. No, honestly, like, just I'm not trying to be cheesy, but like honestly, going up to the M last night and just like, especially when we were all just sitting on the M together, just looking down at the city and just talking.
Rad.
Like that was so rad. Like
was
I
a
was
good
just
time.
like I couldn't stop smiling. You guys, I didn't want to look like a tweaker, but I was just like, dude, this is awesome. Like I'm loving this.
That was pretty magical.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was magical, and like it didn't matter that I was dying trying to walk uphill. Like, it was super cool to just like get to look over this whole city that I'm gonna be spending the next 4, 5, 6 years at.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, who knows? Maybe live here, but it was real breathtaking. I thought to just be there with some homies and just like really just enjoy the now, I guess, of it.
Yeah.
Owning the city.
Exactly. Like,
Because we really do.
it was
College
awesome.
runs the city, boy.
we
And we
will.
definitely got to make sure that we get up there a couple more times before it gets too
Before
crappy
it gets
to
too,
go up there.
yeah.
And we should definitely try to go up there in some extreme winter conditions.
No, we
Just
shouldn't.
to-
We should go sledding or something down. And I bet it'd be hell of a
We would
sled.
definitely die.
Dude, you would run into wire. Maybe on the backside or something.
Yeah.
You guys, we can take some skis up there. Anyway, what's your low?
The low. Well, so I mean, like, I guess the low. I mean, it can't
It
be.
can be as deep as you want it to. It doesn't have
It's
to be.
not. I'm not gonna. The low is like always there. It's not a specific moment in time. The low is just not being there for like the people that I loved and lived my whole life with up until this point. Like, 3 days ago was my aunt's birthday, and my aunt passed away like 2 months ago or 2 years ago, and she was like on the streets, and like we'd been spending like 10 years trying to get her off the streets, but she refused. Eventually it killed her. Like, you just can't live like that, you know. And she died on the streets by herself, and it just ruined my grandma was heartbroken, blamed it all on herself, and my dad like just didn't even know what to do. His sister was dead. And so it was her birthday, and I wasn't there to be there for both of them.
Yeah.
And so like just the thought of like the difference I could have made if I was actually like there holding like my grandma or being with my dad, it eats away at me a little bit. And like I get those moments every day where I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? I need to go home. Like, my family's there, and I'm not there for them. And it's definitely a very low feeling, but like I said, calling them every day is what helps me get out of that. Yeah. So that's definitely the low, is just the thought of not being there for them. And it's a constant thought, but it's better sometimes and it's worse other times, but eventually I'll be able to get over it, I think. Samuel?
The high has been pretty killer sunsets.
Yeah.
It's pretty striking. I used to think like we had some killer sunsets in Colorado. Like some were good and some were not so good and some were really great. But I haven't seen a bad one here yet. Like everyone has taken my breath away, and that's been super like important to me. And like just the whole. When I was home, I always felt bad for not being home with my mom.
No,
Like,
me
and
too.
and
And
my
like I'd go to a
dad.
friend's house, and that night I'd be like, I need to go home because I'm not about to leave.
Yeah, like I'd be out doing whatever, but like now that I'm here, not that I like don't miss my parents, but I can really just be doing whatever I want to be doing, and like if it's not like something I have to be doing, then it's usually like being outside and like exploring and like
Slacking it up.
slacking and finding new friends, and like I've been able to build myself a lot and build my relationships and build my community and like hopefully build a life that's more favorable or whatever. And that's been lit. I've been definitely digging college life more than I expected. And the low has been like, oh man, I'm hypermanic, man. I literally never get low ever.
I'm happy all the time.
I'm literally happy all the time. No, I don't know, man. Like, I remember the first week I was very like highly uncomfortable with being in one place and having to set up my room and just being like set in one place and being scared of not being able to make friends or being alone or like that mostly. But kind of pushed through that. I found the crew I feel like I can at least have when I need it, and hope I feel like we're building some stuff, you know. I feel like we're networking. We got like people who want to have a happy life.
Yeah.
And positivity is the light that fuels my life. Like just positivity and drive and like desire to do stuff. I feel like we're doing stuff. And I feel like we're all doing stuff. Like whether or not we'll end up doing anything together, we're all moving towards this destination of stuff to do. And I'm all about the stuff to do, bro.
Fro.
Okay, I'm gonna go on a tangent just because of what you were talking about earlier in your positives, but like one thing I thought was super cool about going to college, because I was the only person from my school, or like anybody that I knew. Like I'm the only person going to Montana, so like I had an opportunity to just completely recreate the person that I am.
Yeah,
And I thought that's really cool. Like, there's so many things in high school that I did that made people just like, this is the kind of person that Aiden is, and that's how I'm gonna treat him.
You're
just because I know exactly, like, I've seen him do these things, so that's who he is.
And you go through so much growth in high school that people see you grow from, and they like judge you from where you were, and like
It's true.
You grow so much in those 4 years.
Yeah. But like just being able to have that opportunity of being the person that I was like wanted to be, but was being held back because I was meant to be this person that I was. It's a really good feeling to just like do my own thing and do what I want to do.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone's kind of doing that. Everyone's trying to be the best version of themselves, which contributes to a positive community.
I know, it's really cool. Like on it, like yeah, dude, it's really
you feel
cool.
That?
I feel it. I feel it. It's a good feeling too.
Yeah. What time are we at?
Hour and 11.
Damn, that's pretty long.
Yeah, I mean some people go for like 2 hours.
Joe Rogan can go like 3 hours sometimes. Favorite podcasts?
My favorite podcast?
H3, The Bear and the Swan. That's The Liturgist, but that's an old one. And then I think those last two, Liturgist and The Bear and the Swan, I don't know that they're super popular.
Yeah. H3 definitely on mine. Joe Rogan Experience. There's these people I watch. They do this podcast called Film House, and they just talk about like movies and stuff. Either like movies that are coming out, movies that have already been out. I really enjoy like that stuff a lot. And there was just like this old group of people that I used to watch, and it was just like a comedy group of people that would just sit down and talk about video game news and stuff. And that was called the Hub or something like that. And that was the podcast that I watched a lot when I was like going into like high school and stuff. Like that was the podcast that got me into podcasts. But they don't do it anymore, which is sad. But yeah, those are my 4, 5, whatever I said.
I got Joe Rogan podcast.
Everybody loves Joe.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think more people
He's
listen to the
in
Joe
the-
Rogan podcast than like watch the news. I think.
That's because it's more informing.
Yeah, Joe Rogan podcast.
He's the Change My Mind guy, right?
No, that's Steven Crowder, bro.
Oh, Crowder. Okay.
No. Steven Crowder
I
was
can show you a picture of Joe Rogan.
on
You've
Joe
probably seen
Rogan
it.
once. So Joe Rogan is like the great Yoda between left and right. Like he is so neutral, and it makes him the best interviewer because he just wants to know what's going on in people's lives.
That's
Like he had
real journalism, bro.
Yeah, he had Bernie Sanders on his show. And it was like the only fair Bernie Sanders interview I've ever seen in my life. Like he just got to talk and actually tell what he thought. And like I still think he's crazy, but like I actually got to figure out what Bernie is all about, you know, because it's all just an echo chamber. Like Joe Rogan puts the people you want to hear on the show, and you get to listen to him for 3 hours. But Him, Ari Shafir, Skeptic Tank. He's a comedian. It's all comedians. Bert Kreischer, BearCast. BearCast. He's.
Is that how you thought of BearCast?
It's not. But later on, I realized how similar it is.
It's okay.
BearCast. He's super hilarious. He has this Netflix comedy called The Machine. Best Netflix comedy special I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, you know who I would like to see have a podcast? Maybe, I don't know if it would work. Aziz Ansari. I watched his comedy special the other day. It was really cool.
Joe Rogan says he's a douche.
Really?
Like, he's not, like, Joe Rogan says that he reminds him of the character he plays in Parks and Rec.
Okay, so is that the guy
That's Joe Rogan.
Is that the guy that screams and like...
That's
Alex
Alex
Jones.
Jones. He's in a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, Alex Jones is far right, like super.
Well, it's like almost.
conservative.
I'm pretty sure it's a joke. I'm pretty sure like he said on it.
No, bro.
It's a
He
joke
went out
to
to
him.
dinner. He went out to dinner with Joe Rogan after he was on Joe Rogan's show, and there's a video. He gets in a fight with the entire restaurant. Like, he gets up and starts just yelling at everyone about stuff, and Joe Rogan's like, obviously being embarrassed with his family. And
Yeah,
it's
that's really weird,
crazy.
actually.
Yeah, and then my last one that I just got into recently, and there's only like they just put out a new one that I haven't listened to yet. It's called Endless Honeymoon, and it's two comedians. One's Jewish, and I love Jewish comedians.
Yeah.
And it's a Jewish comedian and his wife, and they it's like a love podcast, and they talk about like relationships, and they like have people call in with really crazy like things going
stories
on.
and questions.
Yeah,
and stuff.
like dominatrixes and like people who like have just crazy couples, and it's fun. That's my 4. But how should we? I feel like we should wrap this up.
Yeah. I was thinking the high and low could wrap it up, but then we went past that. Let's think. What are you?
What are you most excited for?
Yeah, just like anticipating going forward. We're kind of getting over the like
we're in it now.
we're getting into it.
The
Like
honeymoon stage
lectures
is over.
are beginning to actually be lectures and that stuff.
Homework is homework. It's college.
Oh man,
That's my thing, is like managing time and like getting stuff done and balancing that with like
get lit.
swaggy experiences,
Swaggy experiences.
groovy times.
Yeah.
That's another name of the podcast right there. Swaggy experiences.
I'm on that, bro. Like, I'm just trying to be able to not fail school, which I don't think will be a problem. Like, because we're always here. Like, we're always here at school. Like, we can always sit and do some homework, you know? So, like, I think I'll be able to do that. And, like, big thing for me, I'm trying to go as hard as I can before the fucking winter gets here, bro. The cold is gonna get here,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be like...
Bite your cheeks.
Dude, I am nervous for the winter, so I'm trying to, like, get in before the polar vortex rips me from my life.
Coming, dude.
She's coming, bro. And it's gonna be a bad winter this year. Alright, is that all 3 of us? Did you?
No, I mean, I'm the opposite. Like, I've never felt sub-zero temperatures. Like, I want to know what it's like. That's what I'm looking forward to, is when it starts snowing. It's a winter wonderland.
Good luck, bro. It's a polar freaking hell.
Dude, polar hell, still something I'd like to experience.
Dude, my hair's getting ridiculous.
Mine
Cut.
too.
Alright, I'm gonna do a Snapchat plug. We just we're finishing up our first podcast at the BearCast. I
The
just
BearCast.
downloaded Spotify for artists, and I don't know, SoundCloud if people do stuff like that. But anyways, check it out. Be on the YouTube channel soon. So thank you for tuning in, and
We'll see you next time.
see you next time.
On the BearCast.
Peace out. Love you, God. Love you, God.
Jesus Christ.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening to the BearCast. Quick notice, we are just on YouTube right now. Turns out getting a Spotify artist account, it's a bit more complicated than I thought it would be. It's all good. Yo, big shout out to my friend Tyler Mitchell for making music on this podcast. I'll have some of his stuff posted. Much love. Drop some suggestions for what you want to hear next time, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Do it. I got one for you. All right, shh. Francisco.
Like go down the hall and say something.
You can hear like everything.
So the sound go.
No,
so the
yeah,
sound
my
goes in there,
Look, it comes back.
and then it comes back.
Yeah.